What's up, everyone? This is Jason, and we're from Heroes to Icons. Today, we will be covering the comic books coming out on March 4th, 2020. At the time of this recording, it is February 28th, Friday. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to my wife for texting me this little message about this giant size X-Men tribute. It is a blessing to have a wife and a friend that lets you know the cool things going on in comics and all this other cool stuff. But shout out to my wife, Selena. The best of the best and better than all the rest. I'm running a little late, so we're going to jump into these books real quick so you guys can know what's coming out next week. I guess a lot of people are biting at the bit, and I guess I should try to get these videos out a little bit earlier, maybe a week and a half or so earlier, because it seems like these books are getting so hot. But anyway, we're going to start off with Dark Horse Comics. We got The Butcher of Paris number 4, I believe, and that is by Stephanie Phillips and Dean Coates. We got Kill Whitey Donovan number 4 by Sidney Duncan and Natalie Barahona. Jason Pearson is doing cover A, and Natalie Barahona is doing cover B. Next up, DC Comics, which has been super hot. The hot book of the week over there, Batman number 90 by James Tynion IV and Jorge Jimenez. Jimenez is doing cover A, and Francesco Mattina is doing cover B. Make sure you try to get that book. It's sold out everywhere. Get there early. I guess it's going to be just as hot, or maybe not as hot as You're the Villain and week before last, Batman 89. We have $2 comics from DC Comics this week. JLA Year 1, number 1, and Swamp Thing 57. Anniversary book, or whatever they want to call it this week. Flash number 750. And that's by Joshua Williamson, Rafa Sandoval, and also written and art by various other artists. We have a slew of covers continuing against the trend of Batman and Superman 1000 and Wonder Woman 750. Cover A is by Howard Porter. And then the rest of the variants go by year, starting with the 1940s by Nicholas Scott. The 1950s is by Gary Frank. The 1960s is by Nick Darrington. The 1970s is by Jose Luis Garcia. The 80s is by Delgado. The 90s is by Francesco Mattina. The 2000s is by Jim Lee. And the 2010s is by Francis Manapul. Yeah, I'm going to get like 5 of those. Justice League number 42 by Robert Venditti and Doug Mankey. Cover A is by Brian Hitch, and cover B is by Mikkel Hannen. We have a facsimile edition of Mystery in Space number 75. I'm not really sure if this is the first appearance of Adam Strange, but it's an Adam Strange appearance. Speaking of Adam Strange, we have Strange Adventures number 1 by Tom King, Mitch Gerrards, and Evan Shaner. Mitch Gerrards is doing cover A. Evan Shaner is doing cover B, and cover C is a blank sketch variant. We have Superman 100-page giant number 2, and I'm not sure if that has 2 covers. I believe it might have 1. Superman Villains number 1 by Brian Michael Bendis and Brian Hitch and various other artists. And we're not really doing trades, but it's one of my favorite stories. So Batman the White Knight, the deluxe edition, the hardcover, and it is written and drawn by Sean Murphy. Moving over to Image Comics, we only have 1 book with 1,000,000 covers. We have Mercy number 1 by Mirka Andolfo. Cover A is by Mirka Andolfo. Cover B is by Humberto Ramos. Cover C is by Enrico Marini. Cover D is a photo variant. Cover B is by Stanley Artgerm Lau. Cover E is by Stephanie Hans. Cover G is by Jenny Frison. Cover H is by In-Huk Lee, and cover I is by Peach Momoko. This book also has a sketch variant for that. There were 3 books for our indie comics. I have Buffy the Vampire Slayer number 13 by Jordi Belair and David Lopez. Lopez is doing cover A, and cover B is the FOC variant. I believe this has 3 other covers, which I do not have the pictures for. New book from Boom Studios. Not from Boom Studios. I'm sorry. But it's a new book nonetheless. Join the Future number 1 by Zach Kaplan and Petro Kowalski. Kowalski is doing cover A, and Brandon Peterson is doing cover B. I have no idea what this book is about. It's a number 1, and the covers look dope. New book from Boom Studios. King of Nowhere number 1 by Maxwell Prince and Tyler Jenkins. Jenkins is doing cover A. Martin Mozzaro is doing cover B, and Christian Ward is doing cover C. Moving over to the Mary Marvel Marching Society, we have my favorite book, Daredevil number 19, starting a new storyline here by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. Giulio Totino Tedesco is doing cover A, and Mike Del Mundo is giving us a Spider-Woman cover for cover B. Excalibur number 8 by Tiny Howard and Wilton Santos, and cover A is by Mahmoud Ashrar. Marauders number 9 by Jerry Dugan and Matteo Lolai. Cover A is by Russell Donnerman, and cover B is by Marcos Martin, which is a God Loves, Man Kills X-Men cover. Another book by Alex Ross and Company, Marvel's number 1. No idea what this entails, but it's Alex Ross and Company. Miles Morales number 16 by Saladin Ahmed and Corey Smith. Javier Garin is doing cover A, and Pasquale Fury is doing cover B, which is a Spider-Woman variant. Dark Agnes number 2 by Becky Cloonan and Luca Perizzi. And I just made a note of this because Jay Anacleto is doing the cover B, which is the only cover that I'm showing for this. And it's sold out on Midtown. Spider-Man Noir number 1 by Margaret Stoll and Juan Ferreira. I have only cover B, which is by Dave Raposa. This also has covers by Ron Lim, Mark Bagley, and Javier Garin, which are not pictured. Spider-Verse number 6 by Jed McKay and Z Carlos. Totally fell off on this book. I guess I will have to get the trade paperback. New book by Marvel this week, Strange Academy number 1 by Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos. Ramos is doing the regular cover for cover A. Arthur Adams is doing cover B, which is a character spotlight cover. J. Scott Campbell is doing cover C, the writer. Scotty Young is doing cover D. For cover E, we have an incentive design cover by Humberto Ramos. Cover F is another incentive cover by Jerome Opina. Cover G is a wraparound design sketch cover by Humberto Ramos. And cover H is a Peach Momoko variant of Magic. And we have 2 Avengers books for our True Believers books. And I believe that is it for this week. For our covers of the week, we're looking at Kill Whitey Donovan number 4, cover A by Jason Pearson. I don't like dogs, but I like that picture. Strange Academy number 1, the Peach Momoko variant of Magic. Black Cat number 10 by Addie Gradoff, the Spider-Woman cover. Flash number 750 by Francesco Mattina. People may not like him and they say he's copying, but I still like the cover. And our last 2 covers of the week is from Mercy number 1, the Stanley Art Germ Lau cover, and of course, the In-Huk Lee slamming, banging cover. For our books of the week, we have Flash 750, of course, big book, prestige format, gotta have it. Mercy number 1 by Mirka Andolfo. We have Strange Academy number 1 by Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos. And DC's big book of this week is Batman number 90. And for me, it's only important because it's the first book starting Jorge Jimenez's run on Batman. And of course, for my book of the week, Daredevil 19, starting a new storyline here. And it's only 2 parts, Inferno number 1. All right, people, running late. So I'll catch you at the same bat time and at the same bat channel. Peace.